How you doing? It's Mr. DJ once again, counting down his fantasy playlist from January the 19th, 1986 at number 17, up from number 20, Sheila E., Love Bazaar. That was a pretty big hit for her. Her first hit was Glamorous Life. That was in the summer of 1984. But let me back up just a minute. Her first recording came in 1976 with a jazz bass player. His name was Alphonso Johnson. The song that she did with him was called Yesterday's Dream. That came out in 1976, and then 2 years later she met Prince. This was after a show that she did with her dad. She met Prince after the show, and Prince said something like, me and my bass player just had a fight over who would be your first husband. And then Prince said, you're going to be in my band one day. And that sort of came true. Sheila E. did work with Prince on his Purple Rain album, and this is where it gets really fun. Oh, this is lovely. One of Prince's singles off the Purple Rain album was Let's Go Crazy. On the flip side of it, oh, God, fantastic dance record. If you haven't heard, you got to listen to it. Man, what a beat. Erotic City by Prince. Hitting it on the dance clubs all across the nation, was banned from the radio stations because it had the F word in it. And that was, woo, hear the F word some now a lot. But back then, oh, no. You don't say the F word in songs that get played on the radio. Well, Sheila E. sang on Erotic City, to make a long story short. Then, in the summer of 1984, Glamorous Life, that was huge for Sheila E. I remember vividly, so vividly, watching that video, her hairstyle, that blow-up hairstyle and all that, on Night Tracks. Summer 1984, that went to number 7, and then the Belle of St. Mark went to number 34, 35 on Billboard's Hot 100. And she also toured with Prince on the Purple Rain, when he did his Purple Rain tour. That Purple Rain soundtrack, I can't even tell you just how big that was. You'd have to be around to really understand just how phenomenal that soundtrack was and the movie. I remember watching the movie back in the summer of 1984. I think it was at the Tide Theater here in Tuscaloosa. Well, here's the deal. Sheila E. released her album. She released an album called Romance 1600, and Love Bazaar came off that album. That would be her last really big hit, and that went to number 11 on Billboard's Hot 100 in early 1986, produced by Prince. And by the way, I saw an updated picture of her, somewhat updated, taken in 2008. She still looks fantastic. Sheila E. with Love Bazaar.